Close your eyes if you wish. When you are feeling comfortable in your position, take a deep breath in and let it out. Take another deep breath in, slowly, let it out. And one more time, take a deep breath in and let it out. Breathe easily, comfortably, in a relaxed manner. Let your body relax. Let your feet relax, your legs relax, your hips relax, your torso relax, shoulders relax, hands, arms relax, neck muscles relax, face muscles relax, scalp muscles relax. Loosen your jaw muscle. Just breathe. Just feel yourself floating along. And now, if you will, imagine that you are on the surface of the ocean and you are in a kind of deep diving vessel. It is not claustrophobic. It is of your own design. It is as spacious as you want it to be, or as intimate as you want it to be, made out of whatever you want it to be made out of. If it is transparent, that is fine. If it is not transparent, allow it to at least have a viewing window through which you can look. And by whatever means you may imagine, pragmatic or miraculous, you have no problem breathing inside this deep diving vessel. The air is fresh and comfortable. Temperature is comfortable. The way you are either lying down, sitting, or standing in it is comfortable. It is almost like an extension of you, of your body. And as you bob up and down in the waves on the surface, you look out and you see beautiful sun-dappled surface of the ocean with 1,000 little glints of light. And it stretches far, far off into the horizon. Now and then, perhaps, either a fish or a dolphin may poke its head up, cause a little splash to occur with its tail, just enough to let you know that there's activity below the surface. And as beautiful as the surface may be, and the sky above, and the clouds, and whatever land there may be in sight, and as beautiful as the color of the surface may be, and the day and the wind may be, the splashing has gotten your curiosity. And you decide that you will just take a little dive down a little ways just to see what's going on down there below the surface. And so you allow your mind to control in whatever way you wish, either by creating your levers or buttons in front of you or just with mind control. You allow yourself to just sink below the surface a little bit. It is still brightly lit below the surface by the sun. And you can begin to see that there is life here. A few little beautiful, colorful fishes swimming around. Some very interesting ones of different sizes and shapes swimming around, looking back at you with equal curiosity. And you see below that the color of the ocean shifts to a deeper blue. And you decide that you're curious enough to see what's down there too. And so you allow yourself to descend a little bit further, just a little bit, into a beautiful deep blue, level layer of the ocean. And you see that there are different kinds of animals and fish down at this level, doing slightly different things, moving in slightly different ways, and you begin to get a sense of the different layers and levels of community and communication that exist within the ocean. And you look down and see that it is deeper blue still below you. And with your curiosity heightened, you decide you will really explore a little bit further, and you allow the deep diving vessel to sink and descend a little bit more into the deeper layers of the blue. Deep blue, not quite indigo. And you begin to see again different forms of life. Some of them may seem a little strange. Some of them may even seem a little bit scary, but that's all right. You're perfectly safe, comfortable, at ease in your deep diving vessel made of impenetrable material. But you have a perfect window on this strange, mysterious world at this level of the sea. And you see below you that it becomes darker still. And you move down through the layers into a deep indigo all around you, maybe even with just the slightest tinge of violet to it. There is still some sunlight reaching, but it is faint. You are now really in a deeper world, a different world, and you begin to sense that there are larger forms of life down here, doing things very differently than the forms of life above. A very different kind of ability to navigate through the semi-darkness with different senses that reach out, that feel, that hear, that receive and send different wavelengths of energy all through this layer, all through this deep, deep indigo. And you look and you see that there is a darker layer yet below you. And you let the deep diving vessel go down. And now you find that the layer around you deepens, darkens to very, very deep, deep purpley blue. Very deep, almost black, but not quite. And now you begin to sense other life, sense it almost more than see it. Although here and there might be little flashes and flickers of light from bioluminescent, self-light generating organisms. And some of them, when you catch a quick glimpse, here and there, may seem very strange, very alien to you, of very different configuration than the life far above you. Yet you still know and still remember that light up above, and even though it doesn't seem so, you know it is still reaching down through the depths, and that there is always a connection to that light above. Always. And now you feel yet again a tug, deeper still, and you allow the deep diving vessel to descend into velvety, space-like blackness. And yet there is a substance to it. It's not an emptiness. It's its own dimension. And you sense that there is, even here, near the ocean floor, an intelligence, an awareness of you, and you don't quite know how you are aware of it, but you are. And then you decide that you will switch on the lights of your deep diving vessel and illuminate what is just around you. And in and out of those lights, you see life forms gliding, sliding past, strange, mysterious, never revealing exactly all of their shape and size, but just a fin, just a tail, just a scale, just a hint. Here an eye. And you sense that these, so close to the ocean floor, they form a kind of foundation. Everything from all the upper layers, it eventually sinks down to this level. Eventually, one way or another. And this level absorbs it, builds on it, makes everything that filters down from the top its own. Builds its own unique sense of community, idea, reflection, foundation. And you allow your deep diving vessel to go all the way to the bottom, and you land on the ocean floor with a soft thud. And you sit there. And you realize how quiet it is. And you realize that somewhere down here there is an intelligence and an awareness that gives rise to everything above it. And you reach out your senses and you search with your lights. You do not immediately see what it could be. There are all the familiar life forms swimming around, the ones you have now become familiar with. No matter how strange they may be, you understand. They are their own form of idea, their own form of life. They have their own community, their own layer, their own level, their own understanding, their own intelligence, their own reason for being. But there's something else down here with you that seems to permeate everything, everywhere. It is deep and it is abiding. It is forever. And yet you have encountered it, seemingly for the first time. Become aware of it for the first time, yet you know it has always, always, always been there. Waiting for you to make contact waiting for you to allow yourself to descend through the layers of ideas and beliefs and feeling and knowledge and definition, waiting for you to make contact with the core. And you sense it now as a deep thrumming in the ocean floor, in the earth itself, the core vibrating like a molten heart, pumping, pumping, pumping life into everything above it. And you realize that here lies the key. That fluidity, that moltenness, that heat that lies just beneath the surface of the ocean floor can instantly allow the floor just above it to sink, and you and your diving vessel sink into the ocean floor, through the ocean floor, and into the molten core. And with your impenetrable diving sphere, you see that you are surrounded by the beautiful, thick liquid of the core. You are in the crucible, the forge, from which ideas and beliefs and definitions and feelings and thoughts are formed. But you are in the raw state before it is crystallized into anything that is recognizable as a form, as a life, as an idea. Here in the core is the beginning of all things that you know as the life above. And you realize that it all comes down to this, that all the things above come from the same place, come from the one core. And as you have this thought, suddenly, this thought, this feeling, this idea puts you in touch that it's so quiet here in the core that you can actually hear your heartbeat. And you realize that your heart is beating at exactly the same rhythm as the core is pulsing around you. And as you imagine, and as you hear, and as you feel this heartbeat, you remember that with every beat of your heart, it sends out an electromagnetic pulse at the speed of light. And it goes through what you thought was the impenetrable skin of your diving vessel. Your diving vessel is transparent to this vibration. And the vibrational beat of your heart causes a stir, a vibration in the core fluid around you. And a pulse comes back in answer to your heartbeat. And the two heartbeats begin to communicate, begin to talk, begin to understand each other, begin to know each other, begin to become each other. And you realize, as the feedback from your heart reaches you from the outside, passing again through the impenetrable skin of your diving vessel and coming back to you, that the very thought that you send out comes back changed, different. You have changed the world around you. Curious to see what this change has wrought, you allow your diving vessel to begin to ascend up through the molten core, up through the dividing line between the hot and the cold ocean floor. And it solidifies around you and under your diving vessel. And somehow, there's a difference. The forms of life around you in the deep are not quite the same. The flashes of light are not quite the same pattern. Something has changed. Something is different. Something is new. And you rise up through the layers, through the deepest blue, into the lighter blue, the lighter blue, the lighter blue, all the way up until you are once again breaching and bobbing, splashing on the surface, and looking at the horizon, looking at the ocean, stretch out all around you. It is still a glorious day, but there is something different. Something that's not quite the same as when you began the dive. And then you realize the difference is you. You are not quite the same. You have been transformed by your journey into the depths of your being. And you have brought back with you an entirely new you that takes its cue from the change you made in the core belief with your heart, with your heart's desire. Desire drove you down into the core to immerse you in your definitions and to instill and extract from you the dedication to recognize and be who you know yourself to be, and the detachment to release from the new core you crystallized, to rise back up so that you can observe and experience and live the results of the new idea you created yourself to be, which will expand your desire to explore all the more who and what you are, and how many different oceans you can discover when you rise to the surface yet again. From each and every trip you take into the core, you will rise to the surface of a different sea. A different sea. A different sea. And you will see things differently, because you are different than you used to be. Take a deep breath in and breathe in the day, and breathe in the salt air and the freshness of the new world you have created. Take a deep breath in and open your senses to the sights and sounds of the new world all around you, and the freshness of the reality that you have given birth to by birthing yourself anew. Take a deep breath in and feel the expansiveness of the new beginning that you have opened to you every moment of every day with every choice that you make. Every change is a total change, and the world is never the same twice, from moment to moment to moment. Core belief is the passage to your inner self, the choices you made coming into this life. And when you visit the core belief, the core doorway, you stand on the threshold of all possibilities yet again. The same possibilities you had available to you in spirit when you decided to be physical. You can rearrange the agreement in that space. All of the ink vanishes and the paper is clean. Rewrite your contract with yourself in all the ways that are important to you. Make a declaration of independence with your signature on it, and declare yourself free to be who you prefer to be. Anytime, every time, all the time. Take a deep breath and open your eyes. And welcome to a new world. A new world.